Hi everyone, Aiden with etrailer.com. Today we're taking a look at the Titan Chain cable snow tire chains on our 2022 Ford F-150. It's going to be a more light duty style chain, so if that's kind of what you're looking for, stick around, we'll show you how to install it. The first thing for the install here is you want to make sure that you have this lever arm towards the outside of the vehicle. This is going to be towards the outside where we can actually reach it. And then grab your cable chains towards the middle and carefully drape them over the tire. When you're doing this, try to make sure it's centered side to side as well as front to back. And we can go around to the back to make our first connection. Underneath the vehicle here, we're going to have two ends. The end by me is going to have this series of studs, and the end by you, if I can reach it, is going to have this little catch. So I'll feed the studs through that catch and probably go for the third or fourth stud. If you need to, there's a keeper down the cable that we can feed the studs through to kind of hold up the excess a bit. You want to make sure you do this in your driveway so you can find the proper fit before you actually go out in the snow. We're going to go around front and make our next connection and see how it fits. So we'll bring this lever arm towards the front and feed in one of the studs through that catch plate. I'm going to go for this third one. Feels pretty good here. And you can see as I fold that lever arm back, we get some tension pulled on the cable. And just make sure that keeper is out of the way if we don't need it. And you can check your fitment once that lever arm is hooked back in to the cable. And right about there, it's feeling pretty okay, but we could probably get it tighter. So I'm going to go ahead and just see if I can feed one or two more of those studs through. And we can fold it back on itself. And you see now it's pulling a lot more tension on the cables. We can get it hooked in. That's the one part about this that seems to be the trickiest, is getting this hooked in, because that keeper plate is pretty much right in the way of where we want to be. You can move it up here just a little bit. And there we go. Overall, we're getting a good solid fit on the tire. One thing we do recommend adding, though, is a rubber tensioner. These aren't included with the kit, but we always recommend having them for that added layer of safety, and they just provide a more constant form of tension on the cables. When you do this, you want to go relatively evenly and in a star-shaped pattern, just like we're doing here. And that will make sure these things stay on a little bit better. Now, once you do this, repeat that on the other side and drive over them a few times. Come out and check on them and make sure that nothing's adjusted too much. If we need to tighten things up, we can, but that's just to ensure that they're on safely, and then we can be on our way. Now, these are a cable style chain, which I did mention is more light duty. You can see they're very low clearance, which will result in a smooth ride, but also give pretty minimal bite into harsher conditions like ice. For light snow, I'd say these are okay. The ladder pattern is going to help with those starts and stops, and the low carbon steel rollers will give a little bit of height to help with that traction. If you do need something more heavy duty, maybe check out a more traditional style chain. Even a twist link chain, which are less aggressive, will be better than this. So if you have heavier snow, or if you've got a lot of ice, check out that, or maybe a square link or a V-bar style. These ones are pretty simple to install though, and they do come with a carrying case. I'll bring that over right now. One thing about these cases, while they are a little bit better than the canvas bags that some other chains come with, they're not the best for getting the cables back in. It's hard to roll them up tight enough to get them in here, so I'd maybe look into something like a plastic tote to fit them in. But really, when it comes down to it, I'd maybe recommend a pair of Titan Chains twist link chains. Those are also pretty light duty, pretty good ride quality, but it's just going to give you better traction overall and be better for those light duty conditions. Whereas this, I think, is just something nice to have in the vehicle in case of an emergency. Thanks for watching.